This is the BEnergyAware Podcast. Welcome back to the BEnergyAware Podcast, sponsored by Get Empowered audiobook, written and read by me, Bran Katanec. This audiobook contains all the tools that I personally use on a daily basis that make a huge difference for the better for pretty much anyone, and especially for highly sensitive people. By buying this audiobook, you can learn valuable tools that can make your daily life much more manageable, and you're also supporting the creation of the new podcast episodes. You can buy the audiobook on Amazon or get the exclusive bonus edition at BEnergyAware.com/shop. Thank you so much for your support. Another great way to support this podcast is to write a review on Apple Podcasts, or just hit 5 stars. This is how you can help others to find this podcast. The more ratings and reviews, the easier it is for others to find this podcast. Thank you so much. Today, I want to talk about dealing with trauma. As soon as someone mentions the word trauma, first two things that come to my mind are old trauma and new trauma. If we hadn't dealt with the old trauma, then it is more likely that we are going to create new trauma. When events arise that have us triggered or scared, the way we were triggered or scared when the initial trauma happened, if we don't bring in a certain awareness, then we're just adding more onto the old trauma. What we need to do instead is to realize why we're faced with a similar or same experience again, and consciously intend to release the old trauma and the energy that it carries. I understand that that's not easy to do in that moment when we get triggered and when we are emotional. But we need to do our best so that we don't recreate the same unpleasant experiences over and over again. Even if we could only consciously remember just to feel in order to release the unpleasant feeling, and so just by consciously feeling and releasing, we do ourselves a huge favor. This feeling or emotion is what we've been carrying inside of us for so long that we got used to bad things happening, and we got used to feeling this way. And it really doesn't have to be this way. Once we release the old energy of trauma from who knows when, we then have a much better chance of creating our life without going through so many events that make us feel triggered. The old trauma from the past is doing us a favor by resurfacing again and again and again until we are ready to consciously release it and let it go. It took me a long time to really understand this, but as soon as I did, I found myself feeling less burdened, less scared, and less triggered, and I was finally able to consistently create much better experiences for myself. One other thing that is also required from us is making better decisions. By the time we develop a habit of consciously feeling and releasing, and it yields some good results, it is more likely that we are also going to be aware of what those better decisions might be. And then we can choose them instead of decisions that disempower us. Not allowing the past to pull us back or to stop us is important. We need to practice inserting the awareness of why we are actually experiencing whatever we are experiencing, and know that the more we consciously let go, the easier our life gets. And adding to this some better decisions, and we might find ourselves really enjoying our life. Let me know what you think about all this. Message me on Instagram at BEnergyAware or through my website, BEnergyAware.com. And please subscribe and share this podcast. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or writing a review helps others to find this podcast and to benefit from this content as well. Thank you so much for your support. I'm Bran, your host, and I'll talk to you again next week.